Alright, so the question is, what is the XRP destination tag? Now, this is also, in fact, more commonly referred to as MEMO, and it's a kind of field that appears in every XRP transaction. It's basically a number up to 10 digits, and you typically need it when you're sending XRP to an exchange. If you forget to include it, you could potentially lose your funds because they don't know who to match that up with. It's just money going into the exchange. It doesn't say who it belongs to, basically. So now the first thing you might be thinking is, why on earth do I even have to do this with XRP, right? And the reason is that if you're depositing something else to your exchange wallet, you go to your whatever exchange you use, you log in and you click deposit, and you say which crypto you want to deposit, and you choose something, I don't know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any crypto except XRP. The exchange will give you an address to send it to, and that is usually a unique address that they've generated in real time. Okay, so you send it, they know it's supposed to be for you. Now, XRP works differently. It's just the way the architecture is. Remember, this XRP is intended to be a kind of institutional settlement coin. So one of the ideas that it's been designed towards is to have a single accounts that can share lots of, let's call them like sub accounts, or a single account that holds funds for multiple people within there. Okay, and it's like that by design, because that's kind of something that would be useful for institutions to have. So how do you then differentiate between all the different users who are sharing this single, what is a deposit address? Well, that's what this tag is for. It is a way of saying, the exchange, when you go to the exchange and you say I want to deposit XRP, they'll give you this unique up to 8-digit number. They'll say, okay, great, you want to deposit XRP, send it to this address. This is the address we use for the whole exchange, but give it this unique number, which might be like, I don't know, similar to your account number, or completely different, but they know a one-to-one relationship. Whatever number they give you is unique for you, and it can be linked back to you. So that therefore, when you send this XRP transaction and you remember to put in the destination tag, or aka the memo, you put this number, then they can, when it's incoming, they see this and they automatically know that it's intended for you. So yeah, it's very unique to XRP. I don't know, maybe there's also other cryptos that do this, but as far as I know, only XRP does this. It's a kind of payment reference. If you think about when you're doing a traditional banking, you will send a wire, and then you will send the payment to a SWIFT or BIC code, and then you could well have to include some kind of payment reference, which is often like a sub account number that you want to send it to. So the wire comes in to the head office of the bank in that country. Whoever monitors the incoming, maybe a machine will read it and look for this sub account number, or maybe it'll be a human being looking at it, or only just the exceptions, and they'll see the sub account number and they'll go, okay, this must belong to Mr. or Mrs. so-and-so, and therefore I will make sure this money moves through to find the correct final destination account. That's how it works. It's also kind of more efficient as well than having multiple account numbers in the way that other cryptos do. So yeah, it's actually well, I don't know, that is an argument, but I tell you when it is definitely more efficient. There is something that is also unique to XRP, and it's a kind of anti-spam measure that they have. And it sounds kind of crazy when you hear this first, but every single XRP account, every account is required to have what's called a reserve, and there's a base reserve and also an additional reserve. But basically the base reserve is 10 XRP, which at today's price works out at about $20 US. And this sounds crazy, but every account must must contain this reserve. It sounds crazy, I know, but remember, this was intended for like large institutions, corporations to use. It wasn't intended for for me or you to use and go down the store and pay for something, right? And if you speculate on it, you've got to understand that it's supposed to prevent people sending very tiny spam transactions, right? By having a minimum account, then it's pretty costly for spammers to create brand new fake accounts and try and clog up the network. It is also considered to be like an investment in creating an account and maintaining it, right? If an account costs nothing to make, like it does with other cryptos, you can have lots of accounts that never even pass any money. It's a bit like someone creating a bank account and never using it, like a real world bank account. By having this reserve, it's a bit like having your own bank account and your bank says to you, well, you need to keep a minimum amount in it or we're just going to close it. Very similar to that. So yeah, it's a very interesting concept, but yeah. But the reason that I mentioned it is, if you can still have, even though there's a reserve per account, you can, though, the good thing is you can share an account between multiple users, and you only have to have that one reserve, that $20, even if you've got like 100, 200, 500 users all sharing that account. And remember, how can you have multiple users sharing an account? Because you've got the XRP destination tag or the memo field. So that's kind of how it works. It is yeah, it's definitely very interesting. I mean, XRP itself is very interesting. It really is quite different. You can see now that what may appear to the average crypto investor to be a very strange crypto, it's number 3, right, by market cap at the time that I'm recording this. And you got to think why, because XRP kind of was always intended to really, although I don't know if they've actually officially ever said it, but really replace SWIFT, the interbank payment system that is used every day to transfer billions of dollars, right? That's what it was made for. That is the thesis of XRP, as far as I know. So it wasn't made to be digital gold like Bitcoin has become. It wasn't made for microtransactions for individuals like the fork of Bitcoin that became Bitcoin Cash, or like some other coins. It has a very specific use case, and that is settlement between large institutions. So that is why it has a reserve. That's why you can have multiple, many users per account. That's why when you send it to an exchange, it's a bit like the way in practice it's envisioned that it will be used in future. Okay, you're just an individual, but when sending to a large institution, they will be sharing an account with multiple users. You must include the quote-unquote payment reference, but really it's what we're calling the memo field or the destination tag. So I hope that makes you better understand the whole point of it. I actually think it makes perfect sense, and it's no surprise to me. It was initially, but the more I think about it, it's no surprise that it's the number 3 crypto out there. It's pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Ask a question if you want. If you enjoyed this discussion, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We really need your support, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.